Woman adopted the biggest-headed girl. This is how she lives now. Sarah Conk is a small-town girl with a big heart who saved a tiny girl's life. She's never given birth but is a miracle mommy in every sense. It's no surprise since family has always been important to Conk. The youngest of 4 siblings, she enjoyed a memorable childhood growing up in Corancro, and it's always been something she's cherished. The thing about Louisiana is how unique the people are, Conk says. I love never meeting a stranger. The likelihood of knowing someone's story by the time a conversation's finished, I love that. I absolutely love that. Conk's been telling her own story a lot lately, and the mind-blowing details have been attracting the attention of news outlets around the world. She tends to take the road less traveled in life, but never did she expect to land back in her hometown raising a Haitian child with a severe brain injury who was abandoned by her mother, a teenage prostitute. Her story evokes laughter, tears, and every emotion in between. Conk has always had a passion for helping people in need, namely children with disabilities. I got my underground in recreation therapy at the University of Southern Mississippi, she says. I love people that come up to my hip and below. I enjoy the pediatric setting. She landed her dream job interning for the Shriners Hospital in Honolulu, where she worked with children who had disabilities. After that, I wanted to stay there, but living in Hawaii is very expensive, she explains. They told me to get my master's and come back to Maui, where a position would be waiting for me. That was the plan. He was asking me questions about the campus, she recalls. He said he was there for a wedding and went on his way. The next morning, she stumbled upon a church, walked inside, and was told there would be a guest speaker. It was a man she had met the day before. He was in town from Scotland marrying a couple, Conk said. It turned out he had a nonprofit that partnered with an organization in Haiti to need his children. The organization's mission is to rescue, love, and care for orphans and impoverished children. That was my light bulb moment where I needed to look into doing some missionary work. Conk scheduled her first visit to Haiti in December 2011. The conditions she walked into were surreal, and the experience changed her entire life trajectory. Conk explains how in parts of Haiti, children with disabilities are often seen as worthless, not valued. In May 2013, Conk earned her master's degree from Ole Miss. Less than 1 week later, she moved to Haiti. In January 2014, a young woman came into the orphanage with a baby girl, Nika, claiming to be her aunt. She said it was her sister's baby, Conk explains, and that the baby's mother had died a month prior after spilling boiling water on herself and running outside into the rain. It's something we see a lot in Haiti, she explains. There's a free program in Port-au-Prince. I immediately tried to get Nika on the list for treatment. When it came time for the operation, Conk had to trust that Nika's aunt would do the right thing. Only one person's allowed to stay with a baby at the hospital, she explains. There's an outdoor area. The mom/guardian sleeps on the rocks while the baby's being treated. The day after surgery, Conk got a call from the hospital saying Nika's aunt had abandoned her. Conk and her colleagues started searching for the woman who claimed to be Nika's aunt. Through that process, they found out that she was in fact the mother. According to Conk, Nika's mom was a young prostitute who dropped out of school while pregnant. But I never judged her for it or treated her any differently, Conk adds. I knew that she deserved love and to be shown grace. We kept getting more and more information, she says. Nika's half Haitian and half Dominican. We think her mom may have crossed the border to work, and that's where Nika came from. Eventually, her mother went back to retrieve Nika from the hospital. At this point, Nika was 11 months old and summer was approaching. Nika's mother was supposed to return the following Monday to talk about it. Not surprisingly, she never showed up. A couple of months later, on August 26, 2014, she returned to orphanage with Nika, who was on death's doorstep. She was tiny, Conk recalls. I said, we have to move now. She and the pastor went to Nika's house. The baby was completely alone on the floor lying on a rice sack with dogs and trash surrounding her. Nika weighed about 6 pounds, and more than half of that weight was the fluid that returned to her brain. When Conk returned to the house, Nika was alone again, but the struggle to save this baby was far from over. Nika's prognosis was grim. We consulted with several American doctors, Conk says. They said we were probably going to lose her. We spoke life over her, prayed for miracles. On May 19, 2015, Nika and Conk boarded a plane and headed home to America, and Nika underwent surgery. After a month in the hospital, during which time all services were performed pro bono, one of the pediatricians invited Nika, Conk, and her boyfriend, who accompanied them on the journey, to live in her home. This allowed Nika to remain close to the hospital that was giving her care. Conk is eternally grateful for those around the world who have rallied for baby Nika. Although there's no treatment to bring back the missing pieces of her brain, she's overcome so much, and Conk will never ever stop fighting. I believe in her, she says. I believe in her potential. There's no part of me that's ever going to give up on believing in her.